we're excited and we're ready because I've got something I'm so passionate about. And that is single people.
Oh, the single ladies. Oh, the single ladies.
How about the men?
Oh, and the men. Oh.
Say all the single men, all the single men.
Put your hands up. No, I can't.
Sorry, Beyonce.
I know I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
But we have guys that listen too.
We do.
And you might pass it along and go in, and I really feel it's both for guys and girls. But I was single until I was 36 years old. So I know the pain that single people have. I mean that with all my heart. Some people go, what are you passionate about? And they're like, passionate about marriage. I'm like, I'm passionate about single people. Especially if I go to a conference and it's everybody. They always talk about marriage and kids and blah, blah, blah. And they always forget the single people. So if you are overseeing or doing conferences, please don't forget the singles and the widows. All right? Those are really, because we always talk about marriage and kids, and not just talk about it, but you address the people in the audience. Don't forget the single people and the widows. But my girlfriend that's here, you don't know what it's like to be single, do you?
I don't, and like, part of me wants to say I'm sorry, but it's
your story.
It's my story. We're on different paths. But
I'm sorry that
but there's obviously,
I don't know your pain.
Like, all married people wonder at some point, like, wow, what would it be like to be single? Only on bad days.
What would it be like to be single? So she got married at 19. That's why she does not know.
I don't. I had...
As a teenager.
Yeah.
Would you let your girls, you have 4 girls, get married as a teenager?
Oh, if God tells me to let him go.
Okay. Anyways, that's a different story.
That's a different story.
So I know the pain, and all the single people in the house, I really want to let you know. I wish I could virtually hug you and whisper in your ear that God sees you, that God knows that he has a blueprint, and all you got to do is crumple up your blueprint and do a little slam dunk with it and grab a hold of his. That's the whole thing of really going, God, I want you to close every door that's meant to be closed and open every door that's meant to be. That's lordship. It's giving him the front seat, and you're going to sit in the back and enjoy life. So how do you enjoy life when you're 18 years old or maybe 25 and you don't get married to 36 like me? Okay, or even my really good friend, I would name them. I've got Lori, who watches Austin. She was in her 40s. Yvette just got married at 43. Love you, Yvette.
Yes.
My really good friend Patty Murakami Chung now got married at like 48 years old. Single until this, and you wonder what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
There's got to be something wrong with me. It's a big one. Everybody's got somebody, and I don't have anybody. You've been invited to all the weddings. Maybe you've been in the weddings, and life sucks.
Yeah. But what about the people that maybe are not going to get married? Like, you can't promise marriage to all the single people.
Oh, totally. This is true. And some single people are very stoked about being. So let me just tell you, my thing is finding the peace in marriage, finding the peace in your singleness, and knowing that you're doing and you're walking with Jesus in both. So we're really focusing on the single people in this place. It is. For me, it was looking at really coming face to face with my fear. As a single person, I found Romans 12:2, and I camped. I set a tent on that verse.
What does it say?
And it says, do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world. Don't move in with them just because, and don't have sex with them just because you gotta go a test drive. Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is the part. Then you'll be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good, pleasing, and perfect will.
Yeah.
And that I had to really sit there and go, God has a good, pleasing, and perfect will. He has good intentions for me and good ideas for me. And was I going to tap in? Was I going to get rid of this, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to see marriage. I had to come to that place. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't have kids. I had to come to that place that I go, God, I want you to shut every door, and I want you to swing wide every door that's meant to be open. And was I going to go, okay, God, I want you to be Lord, or was I going to go get Lord and just make it happen? And so really it is that if I'm in fear, underneath fear is always a place where you're not trusting God. As your protector, your provider, and then if we don't get to that lie, we don't get to that thought, we don't get to that place where it's like, then I'm going to take control. We do that with our kids, our marriage, our marriages, our finances, our lives, and even in our singleness. And that's where for you. For me, Fiona, what I had to do, I don't know, maybe it was around 23, 24 years old, I had to kind of get some perspective. And I sat there and went, from 18 to 36, I was 18 years being single. Then I thought to myself, if I'm 36, and when I get married, which I really did, and I die at 96, that's 60 years being married. 18 years being single, 60 years being married. Now those ages those numbers could fluctuate depending when you get married. But this part is probably going to outweigh this part. And it was just a reality. Okay, God, I need to really come in and have peace in my season of singleness. And that was my desire. If you don't want to get married, that's okay. Don't even, it's okay. There's people out there that are going, I really don't want to be married. And I gotta say, there was a place in me that probably didn't really want kids. Now, was I open to it? Yes, but I was like, oh, do I really? So, and there's a lot of people are like, I feel sorry for you, but there was a place where it's like, hey, you don't have to conform to the pattern of this world.
No.
Okay, we're gonna say anything?
I think I once heard this one couple, they got married a little bit later in life as well, and they just were both single and they were in ministry. And someone gave them the advice to just run after Jesus. And then as you're running, look around and see who's running alongside you. Like go.
That's good.
Don't. And I know that it's like, Fiona, you can't say this, you got married at 19. So let's
no.
This is just,
no.
I think this is still truth.
It is.
You can't just stop and wait for a spouse and say, I will go into ministry or I will do blank once I have a spouse.
Or once I have blank, whatever it is.
I'm just going to wait here and then
until
God can find me
weight.
here. No, God can move God can steer a moving ship. So chase after Jesus. Like you said, what is his blueprint for your life? And go after that. Because that's what, even in marriage, even with kids, even with careers, we are still, Lord, like fully surrender. Because I still have dreams and hopes, and desires, even within the bounds of marriage and things that are not what God has for me. And I have to daily, I surrender that. I surrender that because I have so.
No, that's so good. That's so good. And it reminds me of this one a vision. It wasn't like I was asleep, it was when I was awake. And it was a vision that was just in my head. And it was like this little girl had this flower pot. It was green with the soil in it. And did I ever tell you this?
I don't think so.
So the little girl goes into the kitchen, puts water on the soil, puts it up on the ledge where the sun was hitting it. She sat there and looked at it and waited for the flower to grow. And then I saw another vision of another girl, same thing, flower pot, soil, walked in, put water, ledge, walked out. Well, this happened 3 times. On the other one where the little girl was waiting, she never walked out. She sat there and waited and became angry and upset. And she was sitting there going, it's going to be purple, it's going to be yellow, it's going to be green, what color is going to be? And she's just footless. They say footless is a Hawaiian thing of just losing peace and just frustrated.
Angsty.
Angsty. So that's that picture. The little girl that kept on walking in and walking out, the 3rd time I was able to walk out with her. And I walked behind her and I was like, where is she going? Well, she was going to the backyard. And so I looked around the backyard. She was putting something together. And I was like, well, what is she putting together? I looked at the cardboard box she took everything out of it. And it said on the cardboard box, greenhouse. She was putting a greenhouse together for the plant that she knew was going to come.
Wow.
But it was just going to take time.
Wow.
And so for me, the takeaway for Tisha. Wow. Was I going to get my greenhouse prepared? Was I going to hang out and make sure that I was going to be this glorious woman for this human that was going to come? Was I going to be in this place where they were going to find Jesus? The woman that lives her life on her knees. And I love James 4:7. It says, therefore submit yourselves to God, resist the enemy and he's going to flee. Was I going to be that woman that therefore submit yourselves to God? And I love in Ephesians 5:21 where it says, therefore submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Was I going to be that woman that's going to honor and be reverent Or was I going to sit back and go, no, you reverence me. No, I want to be here. So it took 36 years for that. Not to say if you're 48 or 50, it's not that your greenhouse is not done. It's just being that person that's going, it's about me and Jesus. I want to make sure me and Jesus, we're hanging through life. People are tasting Jesus in my life. And then when I get married, he gets to taste Jesus in my life. Not that he becomes. If you do. And I love that, because you just never know. There's times where that satisfaction of trusting God with your life and knowing that he has a good, pleasing and perfect will for your life.
Because we can put the emphasis of like that is the crowning moment when you get married, you know, but there is a holy union coming for all of us.
And that's
the end day.
And that's what I love what you just said. And that was, hey, God, this is your way. It's not where the beginning of Romans where it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. We got to conform to his voice and what he has for us. You look in the Bible, Enoch, was he married? Jesus wasn't even married. Jesus didn't have kids, you know? And for me, your kids are my kids. My friends are my family. It's just like, and so it's for us to look around and so like, whoa.
Be on mission. Be on mission with Jesus.
Yeah. Get that greenhouse together. Come on now. Is that good?
Love it.
Good. Single people in the house, I love you. If you have any questions, please write me. I don't mind giving you my email, my phone number, and you just want to hang and just talk a little bit about how you can get yourself on the bed of faith and off the floor of fear. I love you. We're praying for you. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Love ya.